Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. We're your hosts, John and Kristen Barber, and today we're back to react to what has unfolded in the WNBA double expansion draft between the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo. We've got takes, we've got teams, and we've got a lot to say. But before we do, Kristen, how are you?
I'm still sitting here stunned.
Stewing, even. Mm-hmm. She's been mad for...
I'm not mad.
12 hours at least.
I'm not mad. I am just in shock, like literally still feeling in shock. Mm-hmm. Like after this broadcast, I just sat there for over an hour, like looking at these two teams. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't process it.
Could not process it. Mm-hmm. No, it was exceedingly difficult to take in a span of 5 minutes, 22 selections that were made by these teams, 2 11-person rosters, not even 12. Certain teams left off of selections because of the Chicago thing. It's just, it was crazy. It was crazy, and I can't believe how they decided to do this. Mm-hmm. And that's a shame. But let's get into it before we do. If you'd like to send us an email and let us know how you thought of the broadcast, you could do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok at ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating and review if you'd be so kind on whatever platform it is that you listen to the show. Subscribe to the YouTube. And, of course, tell your friends and family about the show. We're about to go hyperspeed because free agency is happening soon. We've got the end of March Madness tomorrow. So we're going to have a lot of pods getting you ready for the WNBA season before it unfolds in the end of the spring here. But first, let's talk about our brand new teams. And actually, before we even talk about the teams, let's talk about the broadcasts in general, because you mentioned it, I mentioned it. It was kind of a flop. I'm not afraid to say it. It was kind of a flop.
No, it sucked. Like, I understand that it would have taken way too long to actually do this live. Like,
you can't do it live.
You can't do it live. Like, making the picks back and forth live without anything happening prior.
Right.
I understand. Like a real draft, I understand. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah. That's fine that it happened ahead of time. But I feel like you had to go one by one. Right. Or at least...
Right.
I don't know. Like, you had to... It was just crazy to do Bridget Carlton and Julie Allemond.
All right.
Like, 1-1.
Yep.
The first 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
And then throw everyone else on the screen.
Yep. Well, here's the Toronto Tempo roster. Here's the Portland Fire roster. Excuse me?
Right.
Excuse
like
me?
What? I need to look at every single name and think about what that means, that who that team protected and who else could have possibly been an option to be chosen. And they chose this person. So what does that mean that they're like looking for? How are they trying to build their team? Like, there's so many things that I can think about for each individual player. Mm-hmm. And I had to look at a list of 10 names for 1 minute. Not even.
Yes. Literally, I'll like, okay, I guess I'll take out my phone and take a picture of the roster.
Right.
So
I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to go away. Like, I need to write these down so fast.
Right. Kristen was taking notes. She was ready to, as they were announced, write the names.
I was like expecting this to be like more chill, relaxed. No, everything all at once thrown in your face.
And 3:30 in the afternoon on a Friday where most people are off from work. And then they had to they had to get to NFL Live at 4:00. This is just like, it shows you how little ESPN honestly cares about the W. They just don't. They just don't care. This should have been an hour long. This should have been. You should have seen the back and forth. We got at least a couple moments of discussing rationale with the GMs, which was good. I'm glad they had that. But they could have, if they still needed to be a half an hour, they could have just done rapid fire going back and forth instead of just throwing the roster off or like up on the screen. I think it was just, it did a disservice to the players that were selected, to the teams that have been created.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be frustrated. I was looking forward to it literally for weeks. I've been looking forward to it. And the day of, I was like, I can't wait. 3:30. And I had no clue that it was only half an hour. And I guess if I knew that, maybe I would have realized like, oh, they're just going to put them up there. But yeah, you can't do this live. I know we were like, there's this like idea of like, oh, we're going to see, the cutthroatness. But no, there needs to be negotiations in the background. This was probably done the day before or maybe even 2 days before. But it would also just have been helpful if these lists were public. That would have helped us process these things.
Protection lists.
Yes, these protection lists. Because in the moment where we see the teams, we're spinning out about, well, how is that player available? Or why didn't that player get selected? Oh, I guess they must have been protected. And you're just doing like this, 10th level calculus, trying to think about all the things that we've been planning for and thinking about over the last couple weeks. And like, you don't even have the satisfaction of knowing if you're right or wrong. It's all just guessing.
Yeah, it is. And I also feel like you said that ESPN doesn't care about this, which I agree with. But I also feel like this was kind of thrown at them pretty last minute because 3 weeks ago,
yeah, they didn't have the rules.
They didn't know when this was happening.
Yeah.
So this hasn't been on the schedule for a long time, which I get. But I think you can find an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. This is like the biggest, after the CBA, this is the first big WNBA offseason fixture. This is a huge moment. Huge moment. This was huge last year when the Valkyries joined the league, and we got to see each of those picks back to back to back. Of course, it's only one team, but they were announced in a way where it's like, okay, who's going to come next?
Yeah.
Who's going to come next? And that makes it exciting. That makes it an exciting thing to watch. Like, don't you want the value of what you're watching to be good? This is just like an email.
No, there was really like 0 point in watching this. 0. Like, I did not have to watch. You can just show me the list and I got the same amount of information. So, oh well, that is what it is.
It is what it is. But regardless, we have two teams that we've at least taken the time to process. And why don't we go back and forth with how these picks were gone? Because we basically have the draft order.
Yeah.
With how they showed it. So let's start at the top. Bridget Carlton and Julie Alamon, the first pick and the second pick. Bridget, shocker, ends up in Portland.
The first pick, my jaw's on the floor. I'm like, what?
Correct.
Because everyone
just assumed
has been saying, oh, Bridget will be in Toronto. I think people knew that Bridget was very high likelihood of leaving Minnesota because there's just so many people to protect there. But how this happened, that the Tempo won the coin flip, right? Chose to defer to this second pick so they can have the earlier pick in the rookie draft.
Which I don't blame them for.
No, that makes sense. And they immediately lose Bridget Carlton in the first pick. Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it means to me that like Portland made a concerted effort of like knowing that Bridget was likely going to go to Toronto. And they said, well, they probably just talked themselves into, a 28-year-old, like small forward-ish player that can shoot, can defend. Sure. Let's make her our flagpole.
They seemed very
player.
high on Bridget.
Oh, big time. Big time. talked effusively about her in the little segment that we got with the GM. But yes, this is a surprising moment because we did not have her being selected in any of our mock drafts because we just assumed that she was going to go on her own in free agency.
No, I think if we're being honest with ourselves, you did not think that she was someone who should have been picked.
Right, because I was under this impression that whoever's selected as a UFA was going to get a supermax, and I don't think that Bridget Carlton is going to get a supermax. I don't think that she necessarily is going to demand a supermax, but yes, she could leave. So there is at least the risk, if you don't offer it to her, that she could go get more money elsewhere or just go to wherever she wants to go. I think they're going to need to pay her more than she might get on the open market. But that's kind of up to her agent and up to her on what she ends up taking. I can see her getting $1 million contract by this team, $1 million annual value contract, and a long-term contract. But it would be kind of funny if it's just like, oh yeah, we sign her for 1 year and then she's in Toronto next year. We don't know. We got to see what the negotiation's like.
Right.
But there's Bridget in Portland. Good luck, Bridget.
Insane. Like literally, I would never in a million years thought that this was going to happen. So it's just hilarious to me. Second pick by the Tempo is Julie Allemont.
Similarly stunned.
Again, I'm like, what the hell is happening right now?
We took Julie Allemont, 14th or 15th?
Yeah, we definitely had her selected. I think she was a starting
point
guard
yeah.
last year. I guess point guard because Kelsey played it too.
Yeah. I like,
I don't know, whatever. She started in LA. So yeah, she was good.
Yes, and she is good. I just was not expecting that to be the second pick.
No.
And the Tempo said that they said that we realized we didn't have to take our UFA because Bridget was already selected.
Right.
But when we get to the Marina pick, why didn't you just do it later? I don't know.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I think sorry, Chris is like processing. I think Julie Allemont's a good pick. I think she's a good player to add to your team. I think she's a good starter.
Yes, good starter.
And she won't break the bank.
I get it.
Yes.
That's fine. But there's other people I would have picked, obviously, earlier than her.
Correct.
But I get it.
Que sera.
Yeah.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
Third pick was Carla Late.
We had her picked third. So lockstep.
Perfect.
Yep. Under contract. Great player. Huge upside. Love the pick for Portland here.
Fourth pick by the Tempo was Niara Sabally, who this was projected by so many people. Sandy Brondello taking Niara from the Liberty.
Yep.
I think that's good. Get her early before the Fire can pick someone else from New York.
Right.
And then you have to wait.
And you have to use your top of the second round pick.
So I get that. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were personally lower on Niara, I would say, than the consensus, but I think it makes sense for her to be picked high here.
Yeah.
Also under contract.
The fifth overall pick was Louisa Gaisel-Soder.
We had her protected. So the fact that she was available made a lot of sense that she would be selected this high. Really good player, can play the 4, play the 5, can shoot. I love that pick for Portland as well.
This is where
where it got crazy.
I can't process.
Yeah.
The sixth pick by the Tempo was Marina Mabry. How in the world is she not protected by Connecticut?
Well, I think we can think of Connecticut not wanting to supermax her. And
who else is Connecticut supermaxing? Tina
Nobody.
Charles?
Nobody. They're not
That's
supermaxing
literally
anybody.
it.
They want to trim their books. They want to have a slim
Why?
before they
They
go to
have
Houston.
nothing to lose. They just sold their team.
I'm aware. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it is a shame from the fact that her and Sanaya have just gotten together and now they're 485 miles apart by car. I saw that somewhere. I was like, oh, okay. They could drive. That's a long drive. I think that choosing Marina as your UFA is kind of crazy just in general.
Crazy.
Because to me, personally, I have reached the point where I don't, and don't take this the wrong way, I don't necessarily look at Marina Mabrey as a winning basketball player, which could be what their decision was. Like, sure, we'll just throw a max at her and let her, be our commander in next year's hunt for Juju. I know I don't want to make it all about tanking, but like, if you're one of these new franchises, you gotta find a way to get your franchise player. And if your franchise player is going to come to you in the draft, you need to give yourself better options. I know it's not typically happening in the W in the way that it is in the NBA, but I just want to say that it's something you have to consider. There are so many other UFAs that I think would have made for better team basketball without you having to pry Marina away from Connecticut. You should just left her there.
Right.
Because she's been all over the place.
And like, I know this wasn't recent, but she said that she wants to stay in Connecticut.
Yes.
And maybe things have happened, one being the sale of the team, in between that her being said and now. Mm-hmm. But I would think there's a lot of things that are in Connecticut that wants her to be there, that she wants to be there for, AKA Sanaya.
Yes.
And that's
Case
where
in
she
point.
lives. Like, it's just a big thing to move. So I'm shocked that she wasn't protected, but I have two theories about it. Mm-hmm. First, I will say, we know that what Marina is capable of.
Yes.
We all saw her shoot so many threes.
Yes.
In
and
Unrivaled.
make so many threes. Yes.
That was incredible.
Yes.
I think she has that capability for sure to, like, on certain days, absolutely go off.
Volume scorer.
I just don't know how much she, like, raises the floor of your team.
Yes. She's not a floor raising player, in my opinion. She's not a floor raising player. When she's in Marina mode, she's, electric. Mm-hmm. But it's not every day.
Yeah. So, okay. My two theories of why she wasn't protected. I guess first is she said that she doesn't want to be. She told them that she doesn't want to go to Houston. Mm-hmm. And they said, okay, we'll let you go this year so you don't have to stay and then move to Houston.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe she has something against Houston.
Houston hater.
My second theory is that the Connecticut Sun are just on a mission this year to absolutely run this team into the ground so that when it moves to Houston, they have nothing. Because they're not going to get this expansion draft, Houston. They're going to be left, presumably, they're going to be left with whatever the Sun give them.
Yes.
So why would we give them Marina when we didn't want our team to go there?
Here's the thing. If they really wanted to blow it up, then they would have unprotected Sanaya. They would have unprotected Aaliyah Edwards. They would have unprotected Olivia Nelson-Ododa. They would have unprotected all these young, Layla Lacan. They protected the young players because they want the young players to go forward to Houston. I do not, as much as I want to believe your theory,
look,
I don't believe it.
We're going to see what else happens with this team, but
it's just going to be youth movement, in my opinion. They're just going to play a bunch of young players. They're going to be bad again. They're going to get a high pick, and the Houston fans are going to benefit off of them being one of the 5 worst teams in the league, and they might end up friggin' getting Juju. They might. Yeah, and it'll all be great for Houston.
We'll see if they trade their pick away.
Now that is how you ruin it. Trade your pick away for a win now veteran.
Yeah.
That is not equipped to play well on that team. Well, enough
Okay.
hemming and hawing about Marina. The 7th pick.
7th pick is Emily Engsler.
Yes.
Love
Fine
that.
pick. Fine pick.
Yeah.
If you're high on M, she now has an opportunity to get much more playing time than she necessarily did in Washington. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for that. That's what these expansion drafts can give us.
Yeah. 8th overall pick, another shocker in my opinion, Aaliyah Nye.
Yeah.
How is she not protected?
That means that they protected Jewel Lloyd. Perhaps they protected Kirsten Bell. Aaliyah Nye was one of their young, cheaper contracts. Why
They're
wouldn't they
only-
protect her? They're only. Unless they didn't, maybe they just weren't high on her after year 1. I mean, they
I
drafted
do
her.
not think that's true.
They drafted her to be this 3-point specialist. And she had her run in and out of the season, but this was really stunning to me that they decided to leave her off here. Mm-hmm. And I honestly can't. This is why I need the public 5. I need the protection because I need to know: did they protect Jewel? Do they want Jewel to be there again?
I can't comprehend that. If
No,
they
I can't
protected
either.
Jewel, I cannot. They must have protected a Megan Gustafson.
No.
Like,
I don't think so. The only logical choices are Kirsten because you have her on a restricted contract, an RFA, and you have negotiating rights if you want to keep her in the locker room. And, she was a starter throughout the season, which is still crazy. Mm-hmm. Or it is Jewel because you were worried that Jewel would be selected by one of these teams. I don't know.
Who cares?
I don't know.
Sorry. She's going to want a Supermax, I think.
Perhaps.
And she was a bench player.
Helped them win a championship.
Well,
Rings are
the
forever.
Aces don't have a GM, so
Yeah,
we are.
Becky, what are you doing?
I just feel like this is like the exact same thing the Aces did last year. They had their one draft pick in Kate Martin, who was not a bad on your team.
Yep.
Let her go in the
Let her go.
expansion. You have your one draft pick in Aaliyah Nye. Let her go.
Yep.
I mean,
It doesn't
it
matter. You're
clearly
going to
doesn't matter.
Supermax
You're
Asia.
winning. You're winning the championship. It doesn't matter. Clearly, I just
Exactly.
don't really get it. Like,
Exactly.
Whatever. Okay. Best of luck to Aaliyah Nye.
Yeah, best of luck to
I
Aaliyah
just feel
Nye.
bad for her. Okay. 9th overall pick was Maya Caldwell, someone we had drafted very high. So that's in line with us. So we thought was going to happen. Number 10 by the tempo was Lexi Held. Very reasonable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Number 11 from the Fire was Chloe Bibby.
There you go. To the fire. Yeah, to the fire, not to the tempo. So no,
Right, because she's Australian.
no Sandy benefit there.
Yep.
Yep.
But she's a decent big, young. So, okay, get your chance on the
I also
Fire.
just to double check, the Aces have a second and a third rounder. I'm just thinking about like they have at least draft capital, but like the 29th overall pick and like a late 30s pick.
Right. They don't care about the draft. Like they do not care about rookies.
Well, because you're gonna have vets that want to go play with the best
Well,
player
yeah,
in the world.
That's fine.
So-
That's what you do, I guess. You don't care about the draft.
It is what it is. Sorry, I know to take it back to the Aces, but
That's fine.
yes, Chloe Bibby, and then
The 12th pick by the tempo was Maria Conde, an international player from the Valkyries. And then we snake. So we go
then
to,
we snake.
So 13 is the tempo again. That was Maria Kliandakova from the Lynx.
Yeah, a top of the round pick for Maria K.
Yes. And this is where I think you should be drafting Marina.
Right.
And we didn't do this. I did not do this in our exercise, but I should have. Like, as soon as the Fire picks their UFA first, forget that. Like, they can't pick another UFA.
Right.
So you have that whole section open to you
Yep.
whenever you want it. And you know you're getting this first pick in the second round when, like, in the first round, teams are taken off the board.
Right. Right.
You know, they pick from Golden State. You can't pick someone from Golden State anymore, a UFA or not. But at this 13th pick, the
You
whole
have the
board's
whole
open
board,
again.
right?
So why am I restricting myself from taking my UFA so early?
When I could get good younger talent. Like I'm not worried about, like, I guess they were just worried that they weren't going to get the two, because they did end up with two players out of Connecticut, but they took Nikolina Milic at the end of this second round. So you're right. It didn't make sense from the standpoint of giving yourself the best options available. You are literally cutting yourself off at the knees by selecting Marina in the middle when you could just have her for free at the top of this round 2.
Right. You're like taking away a pick from yourself, basically.
Right. Or forcing yourself to move down to lose value.
Which I wish, honestly, I didn't really think about it until this
Well,
all
we
happened.
were just like, it's easier to just start with your UFAs.
Yeah. Right. So then at least start with it. But you picked her in the middle of the first for no reason.
Yeah.
Like that's whatever.
Weird.
Okay. Maria K. I think that's a great pick by the tempo.
One of their best picks, in my opinion.
14th pick for the Fire was Haley Jones.
Yep.
This is
Right where we had her.
Where I regretted drafting her.
Correct.
But here we are. 15 by the tempo was Asia Kane.
Out of New York with the last pick in last year's draft. I don't think we didn't get a chance to see her play last year.
Nope.
We'll
International.
see what that works for her.
16 by the Fire is Nadia Poik.
Nadia Poik. I appreciate the correct pronunciation on the broadcast.
Hadn't heard that.
I know.
Out of Atlanta, an international player who we expect to come over this year, but not confident, haven't heard. 17 by the tempo was Nikolina Milic, which John mentioned from the Sun.
International player who played in 2023 in the W, but hasn't played since 23. So she has limited league experience, but whose rights were owned by the Sun and now owned by Toronto.
The 18th pick by the Fire was Sarah Ashley Barker out of LA. So we can stop here and talk about LA a little bit.
Yeah.
This is very interesting because we basically expected one of these UFAs to come out of LA because they have a bunch of UFAs. They have a bunch of bigs, like chock full of bigs.
Yes.
And I think it's hilarious that 2 players they lost are guards. So now they have their ratio of guards to bigs is worse than it was before.
Help yourself in the draft.
Yeah, but it's just pretty crazy.
In free agency. They could have a really strong free agent class this year.
So we didn't protect Sab or Julie Alamon, so it makes sense that they were picked.
Right.
But it is just kind of interesting to not see someone here like Azare or Ray Burrell. So both of them must have been protected.
Yeah,
reasonably.
Well, yeah, and we said the reasons for Ray. Azare, this implies, I guess you're going to get to it, that they probably left De'Erica off of their protection list, whereas we protected her.
Right.
Because if you count 5, it's Cam, Rakia, Ray, Kelsey Plum, Azare Stevens. De'Erica Hamby would be the 6th player. You can't protect those 5 without leaving one of them off. And De'Erica makes the most logical sense because of her age, I guess. And there was a concern about, these teams are probably not going to want to offer her a Supermax, so we can risk dangling her out there. That makes the most sense here.
I don't think De'Erica's going to get a Supermax from LA, but I could see her getting one from somewhere else. I think perhaps that
she can't, though. She couldn't get one from somewhere else because it can only be the team that you just finished your contract with, and you can't do a sign and trade for a Supermax. She can get a max, but she can't get a Supermax. Just for bookkeeping.
From another team.
From another team, she couldn't get a Supermax.
Fine.
Yeah. She'd get a max, though.
Yeah. I think this also potentially leaves the door open for this rule that that I personally am still not clear on, of these 2 expansion teams being able to Supermax someone that's not already eligible to be Supermaxed. Like maybe they couldn't supermax Kelsey Plum if they picked Kelsey Plum.
Mm-hmm.
So why bother picking Kelsey Plum?
Well, yeah, she was protected, but
You know what I mean?
yeah, right. It could have that, which is what we originally thought.
Right, that's what I thought.
If
So you leave Kelsey Plum unprotected because they can't supermax her. So what's the point?
right, so if
That's
they
what
selected
I
her, then
think.
she could just come back for a supermax from
Right.
us. Yeah, yeah. It's messy. There is an underlying thing that we don't exactly know for sure about.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, hopefully we'll see like laid out of the rules. But this is like basically over, so probably not.
The Sparks have a lot of work to do with their contract decisions. It's going to be,
Yes.
they're going to be one of the very interesting teams to follow. And I do think because of how close they are, that we could see like a flock of free agent signings with them of new
yeah.
players.
I would love it.
So I'm keeping my eye on
I would
them.
love to see them trade.
Yes.
Trade Azare.
Yes. Sign and trade her.
Yes.
Let's see.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation,
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
open a new retail location with 36% more square feet,
Fantastic.
hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
All right. The 19th pick from the Tempo was Kit Laxa, another solid player from Phoenix. The 20th pick was Shug Sutton.
Yep.
We did have the Mystics protecting Shug, but she was, one of the last players, borderline. They could protect her or not because she started for them last year.
Right.
She would not have been starting because Georgia Amore's coming back. They have 3 more picks in the first round of this draft. So it does make sense, I think, for them to part with Shug here. But I think Shug is a great pickup for the Fire, especially this late in the draft.
And it means that they protected Lucy or they protected JC. One of the two got protected with that Shug spot that we used to protect her. And neither of them were selected. So
Yep.
stands to reason.
The 21st pick from the Tempo was Christy Wallace. We got that one right.
Got that right. Bingo.
Christy Wallace and Sandy were destined for each other. And the 22nd pick, the last pick here by the Fire, very interestingly, was Nika Mule. Now, I think there was a lot of confusion around this pick as well. First, I think because we're just not really sure when this draft happened, but it had to have been in the past few days. And Nika has been hurt for a month or so now. So the Fire would have known that Nika had an injury, an
Yes.
ACL injury.
Yes.
Now, if you're this late in the draft and this is your last pick because you're not picking anyone from Chicago, I think it honestly makes a lot of sense to pick someone who's injured. Because with this new CBA, her contract is not counting towards your cap this year.
Or it only counts a certain smaller percentage.
Sure.
Like, I think it might still count, but she's not going to count as an active player. Shouldn't count as an active player in your 12-woman roster. So this is kind of like a de facto stashing
Right. This
of
is
Nika
like
Mule.
kind of a hack of stashing Nika Mule. Which I do love for Nika because honestly, I was very concerned for her in Seattle. Like they're going to waive her. She's never going to play. That's kind of what I was expecting at being injured now 2 times in a row. But now, it seems like the Fire see a long-term future with her
Yes.
and are investing in that. So I think that's great.
Right. So by like I'm saying, like stashing her, whatever, suspending her, whatever you're going to call it in the new CBA, which there are new provisions that help teams with exceptions for injured players, for pregnant players, benefits for the players so that they get paid when they're hurt. You effectively don't have her and you left yourself an open roster spot by not making a 12th selection here. So that means in the upcoming draft, when you have pick number 7 and you just moved up from Chicago to pick 17 in the second round. Those 2 picks, I think, are pretty premium for this team. So I'm acting as if those 2 picks will be their 11th and 12th roster spots.
For sure.
And then they have a decision to make of, are we going to cut one of these players that we drafted for whoever we draft in the third round? I have no problem using your last pick on Nika Mule. Personally, I know in the moment I was like, wow, they really picked a player that's hurt. But when you really think about it, you are not expecting yourself to win in year 1.
No.
The Valkyries were the first expansion team in the history of the league to make the playoffs in the first season that they joined the W. And they were just about a 500 team. So you should not expect, now that the field is 15 teams, that you're going to be one of the 8 teams that makes the playoffs. So you got to give yourself a long-term runway. And maybe banking on the fact that Nika could eventually come back to become a healthy player, even though she's made 1 basket in her time in the W, I think is worthwhile. I'd rather pick her than pick nobody.
Yeah, for sure.
Personally.
I agree.
But what I will say is the fact that this is the only player selected out of Seattle is kind of confusing to me as well. Because if we look at what their protections, what they had to do, they had to make decisions on a bunch of UFAs, on NECA, on Skylar, on Brittany Sykes, on Ezzy Magbagor, on Dominique Malunga, who they 100% protected. But then you got Jordan Horston. Like, that's a 6th player who's quite good,
Yeah,
who I would have selected.
I would have selected her too.
So it kind of makes me think that they protected her, which means they left one of those UFAs off.
Right.
Which one? Was it NECA because she's like, I've got 1 more year of run in me. And they were like, we're not going to select NECA for 1 year because we're not going to want to give her a long-term contract. Same maybe for Skylar, who's an older player in the league, but I think you could, have Skylar for a couple of years. Maybe you said that. Maybe they did leave NECA off of there.
I think they could have left NECA off. And these 2 expansion teams are right. NECA is older. She's not going to be in the league for that much longer. And she's the president of the Players Association, like so respected, so revered, just fought for the CBA. Like you're not going to mess with NECA.
Right.
Like you let her do what she wants.
Right.
So I'm not going to pick her and make her stay with me. Like you're a free agent, go wherever you want, NECA.
But if I'm a Seattle fan and I could potentially have all of those UFAs and Dominique and the 3rd overall pick and Jordan Horston,
yeah, like
I'm going to be pretty excited with how we were thinking about Seattle before last year's expansion draft, that they were like in dumpster fire mode. They kind of backed themselves up into a pretty nice spot here.
It's pretty crazy how like the 180 Seattle has kind of done. Like last year, no one was picked from them because it was just a disaster. This year, they had options to be picked.
Yeah.
I loved Mackenzie Holmes.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of players they could have picked, a handful.
Lexi Brown, Mackenzie Holmes.
They got away like unscathed, the Seattle team.
Yeah. Yep. And Nika is free to spread her wings somewhere else.
Which good. Like, I don't think Seattle was ever playing her.
No.
So they're not losing her. They didn't lose anything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Obviously, a lot of decisions for them to make, but I think I could see a world where they bring everybody back on like 1-year contracts. Just keep doing 1-year contracts. And then they can effectively do the 2 timeline strategy, which is always talked about in NBA circles, of like banking on the future with Dominique and whoever you have at 3. Could be AZ, could be Olivia Miles, maybe a different guard. I would be shocked if it was anybody other than the 2 of them, because one of the 2 will be available. And then you have all of these good veteran players who have played with you for a while at this point, who still are good. You might be able to make it work. Maybe we're talking about Seattle making a run at this thing in a couple months. I don't know.
I mean, hey, they almost beat Las Vegas last year.
They did.
So
They did. So Well, let's see. Decisions to make there, similarly to LA. I will be focusing on them as one of the teams coming up over the next couple weeks.
So just to kind of recap, the existing teams, the players that they lost. Obviously, Chicago lost the least. No
Didn't
one was
lose
picked from
anybody.
it. Well, did they lose the least? They lost a
They
draft
lost two
pick.
future picks. Yeah.
Insane. That's all I'm saying. You were one of the worst teams last year, and you don't want to lose anyone.
Great. Cool.
Seattle then only lost one in Nika, who never played. Las Vegas only lost one, Aaliyah Nye.
Yep.
And then everyone else lost 2 players. I think that Minnesota lost the most, losing Bridget, a starting guard, a young starting guard who was maybe not the best last year, but 2 years ago, so good. And Maria Kay, like your backup center, who they don't have. They don't have a center. So I think
they're going to have a center. They could have a center if they wanted them.
they could.
They got a second overall pick gifted to them.
Sure.
So they can reload. But yes, Maria Kay was a good rotational player for them.
Yes.
They definitely substantial.
Yeah.
You know, and when I think about who also lost, like Emily Ensler and Shug coming out of Washington, they're rotational pieces. I think I look at Atlanta. I've said how good I think Maya Caldwell is, and how good she was for that team last year and helping them win as many games as they did. And Nadia was a player that they invested a first round pick in, who ultimately never ends up playing for their team. So you're kind of losing a first and you're losing Maya. That is pretty substantial for Atlanta, but they're set up in a way that they know what their core is better than some of these other teams. So I am confident in them figuring it out. But it is tough. Me and Dallas too, but Dallas had a glut of young talent. Losing Haley and Louisa, they've got other options. They've got the first overall pick coming in this year, so I'm not really concerned about them. But there wasn't a team that was like devastated. Like could have been. There could have been certainly worse situations for some of these teams.
Yeah. So that's our 2 new teams, the Fire and the Tempo. You want to say, you asked on Bluesky, who do you think won this draft?
Yes.
We have conflicting answers.
Yes. I personally, from a roster construction, I like what Portland did more than I like what Toronto did. I think that is a slightly unpopular opinion, but I do think that Portland has at least depth at most positions. And I think that whoever they end up with at 7, if Lauren Betts does fall to them, which I could still see as a possibility, if she gets past Washington at 4, who now we know are going to have Shakira, I think that would be like, they could actually maybe be able to make a run, maybe because of what they have working with. Toronto, I just don't see how I could see them making a run, because I see multiple holes on this roster. I see a quite big hole in what could be an Aaliyah Edwards move. It doesn't look like they have a real power forward. And I think Aaliyah Edwards, as a Canadian, is a player that they would want to make a move for. Maybe that's some sort of sign and trade situation with Connecticut. We'll see. I also think Toronto is going to be expecting themselves to, whoever they draft at 6, fit that person into their starting 5. So when I project a starting 5 for this team, it's really hard to tell who the actual 5 best players are that they would want to start. I think it's going to be whoever they take in the draft as one of those players.
Which I think they did mention that on the broadcast, that they are expecting their draft pick this year to start, to make an impact. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Right now, the Fire is a better team, I think, if, as things look right now. The Tempo, remind me more of what the Valkyries did last year, where they have all this international talent
Who you just don't know about.
that we don't know much about and could come over and could not.
Right.
Like Christy Wallace could not come over. She wasn't here last year. She could stay overseas. Nicolina Milic, Asia Kane, and Maria Conde could come over, could not. Then you have like 5 or 6 roster spots you have to fill.
Right.
And if they come over, like, how will it work out? I trust them that these are good international players. We just don't know much about them.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. Like the Fire, I don't think they're going to be able to do much in free agency.
No, I think they're
The
pretty
Fire,
set.
right? I think they are what they are.
This
and
plus
they'll
their
get
draft,
their
right.
draft picks. The Tempo, I really can see them making some moves. I can see players potentially wanting to come play under Sandy, players wanting to go play in Canada,
Right. Yeah.
like Aaliyah Edwards.
Yeah.
So I think the Tempo could look much different
Right.
than they look right now. The Fire, I think they're set.
And that's why I feel like it's a bit of an incomplete. And we didn't really see that. Remember, the Valkyries had that one big free agent signing in with Tip, and that was kind of it. And they were set and who they drafted and who they ultimately took in expansion. But yeah, you bring up a good point. Sandy Brondello is a very good coach, a very win now coach. I think we stand to reason that they'll make some extra moves here and hold on to some of those international rights players to remain overseas maybe this year. And they also had the benefit of only selecting 11 players here. But they've got an extra draft pick that they got straight up from Chicago. So now they've got 4 picks in this upcoming draft. See what they use them for. Maybe they trade a couple to get Aaliyah Edwards. Maybe they trade both the seconds. I don't know. I don't know if that's a really good value to Connecticut in a sign and trade. Who knows? Just a thought. But yeah, I think 2 interestingly different teams.
Yeah, very different.
In a very surprising broadcast for us. I'm glad that we have this. I'm glad that we can finally start to see free agency making moves in 5 days. I believe it starts on the 9th. So it's going to be fast and furious. We're going to see a ton of contracts. We're going to have to parse all of those. And I can imagine we're like stunned similarly by players moving from here to there to there. So we will keep you up to date with that. We'll let you know how these rosters across the whole league end up building. And then we'll get ready for another season right around the corner.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the show. If you'd like to send us an email again, you can do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok at ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform it is that you listen to the show. Subscribe to the YouTube. Tell your friends and family. We got to go talk about the tournament, and we're going to do that. So be on the lookout for that episode dropping shortly in the coming days after this. But Kristen, I'm starting the baseline, and as always, what are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back soon talking about the NCAA.